had scored 45 and routing Cincinnati. Last week, not much against the Raiders. Which one shows up?
I think that's exactly the big question they have to decide. How well can Seattle or Denver handle this Seattle team? And of course, for Seattle Seahawks, I mean, they're a running team, but to the first 2 points, the first 2 games of the season, they've had hamburger. They want ground chuck. And with Jeff Kemp, they got to find a running game today against the Denver Broncos in order to compete.
Jeff Kemp, the young backup who did so well last week, standing in for injured Dave Craig. Kemp threw for 2 touchdowns in a win over the New York Jets, and they're looking for big things today. His confidence level is way up.
Yeah, he had an excellent week of practice, and of course he's been sitting on the sideline waiting for this to happen. So now Jeff Kemp gets his chance, and last week he responded well. I think the team has great confidence in Jeff Kemp.
There's Chuck Knox, the 8-year head of the Seattle Seahawks. And Dan Reeves now in his 11th year as the head man of the Denver Broncos. Denver has won the toss. And here is Casey kicking off. The ball is hit down to Alton Montgomery, 3 yards deep, and he'll down the ball. And Denver will bring it out 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. Look at the Broncos offensive line. Jeff Davidson, a first-time starter at left tackle, a huge player from Ohio State. John Farrell, Keith Karts, Doug Weidel, and Ken Lanier, all established veterans. In the backfield with John Elway, Gaston Green, the primary runner now in the absence of holdout Bobby Humphrey. Perriman's the blocker. Mark Jackson and Michael Young, the wideouts. Clarence Kay, a 260-pound truck, blocking at tight end. So the Broncos go from their 20, 1st down and 10. Elway looking at Michael Young, and he drills the ball in low where the defense can't get to it. Wayne Harper covering, but Elway with his new favorite target, Michael Young, a former Bruin from UCLA. The Seahawks front 7 includes Jacob Green, Eric Hayes, watch Cortez Kennedy. This guy could be an all-timer if he keeps going like he's been in his 2nd year. Tony Woods, the other defensive end. Wooden, Wyman, and Porter are the linebackers. Harper had 2 interceptions against the Jets last week. Hunter, Blackman, and Robinson, who's the leading tackler in the secondary. First down throw, good for a 1st down, and now the Broncos go to the run. And on the baseball infield where the Denver minor league team plays, Gaston Green is cut down after a gain of about 4 yards. Rufus Porter, the outside backer, made the stop.
This Denver offense, everyone knows, I believe by now, that John Elway is calling his own plays. Dan Reeves came to him the 3rd game of the exhibition season and said, how would you like it? He has a little menu on his forearm. And frankly, through the first 2 games, it's performed pretty well. Even though they got beat last week with the Raiders, they ran the game plan exactly as they had hoped.
Now on 2nd down and 6, they go to the draw play, and Gaston Green breaks ahead out across the 40-yard line, and he's close to the 41 and very close to a 1st down.
One of the things you'll notice about the Denver offense, it's a finesse offense when they run the ball. They're not big up front. They got a new starting offensive tackle that we're going to watch closely, Jeff Davidson, but there was a nice hole for Gaston Green to squirt up through there. Not a kid who will break a lot of tackles, Don. Excellent speed, great breakaway threat, but he doesn't break tackles.
He was UCLA's all-time leading rusher on 3rd and short. Elway calls his own number. Looked like he may have lost it briefly, got it back. And we'll see where the spot is and whether or not Denver has a 1st down.
Yeah, Don, I didn't get the feeling that John Elway got that ball cleanly. I mean, it was a quarterback sneak, certainly intentional. And you see part of the new John Elway. He is motioning the people he wants in for this down, whether it's 4th and short. And Shannon Sharp comes in at tight end. I don't think he got that ball cleanly from the center.
The chain markers will now tell the story whether or not Denver gets another 1st down. Elway's first throw of the day was good for 10 yards to Michael Young. Both teams coming in 1-1. Winner today will have at least a share of 1st place in the AFC West. And on 4th down, Denver's going to be inches short from.
Now, Dan Reeves called these plays. John Elway does not want the 3rd and short, the goal line offense, or the 4th and short. Dan Reeves calls those plays from the sideline.
And they're going for it indeed. So an early gamble by the Denver Broncos. 4th down, less than a foot.
Spread formation.
3 wide receivers set to the right side now. And the Keel goes in motion. Might be trying to draw Seattle offside. Take a 5-yard penalty and punt it. Seahawks apparently aren't going to leave early.
That is exactly their intention. Good call, Don. Delay of game on Denver. Horan will come on to punt. And on 4th down, and I'd say less than a foot, Denver opts to punt. Interesting choice. Do you think they'd do that with Bobby Humphrey as a running back if he were here?
I don't know, Trump, if you ever want to go for it that early on 4th down.
In your home park, 4th and short against a division opponent, yeah, I'd do it.
We now welcome those of you, as Horan is dropping back to punt, we welcome those of you who've been watching Detroit and Miami as the Lions beat the Dolphins 17-13. Horan, the NFL's leading punter the last 3 years, drives the ball down to Chris Warren of the Seahawks. And he is out to the 22-yard line. Tim Lucas down on special teams to make the play for the Broncos. A 47-yard punt and a 10-yard return. So Seattle with young Jeff Kemp, actually not that young, he's in his 11th year, goes on offense. Andy Heck is turning into one of the best pass blockers in the AFC. Bailey, Feasel, Millard, and Hitchcock. The other blockers for Jeff Kemp: John L. Williams, the good receiving, hard-running fullback; Derek Fenner, the AFC touchdown leader last season; Blades and Kane are the wideouts; Tice, the tight end. Kemp, like Elway, putting it up on 1st down. A throw and a catch to Tommy Kane out to the 33-yard line. Good for a 1st down. 12-yard gain on the play. Here's the front 7 of the Denver Broncos: Powers, Cragen, and Holmes up front. Simon Fletcher, outside linebacker. Keith Traylor, a rookie. He starts at inside linebacker for injured Michael Brooks. Mecklenburg, 5-time Pro Bowl player, the other inside backer. Tim Lucas, the outside linebacker.
Don, I just noticed too, as you look at the defensive backs, Tim Lucas is off with an injury after the first play. He's replaced by Mike Kroll, the rookie outside linebacker.
Kroll is indeed in there, the number 1 pick out of Nebraska, 4th player picked in the draft. It's 1st down now for Seattle. Derek Fenner running hard on a slant right, takes it across the 35-yard line out to the 38, where he's knocked down by Keith Traylor, the rookie from Central State in Oklahoma.
And there are always little things that can mean the difference for winning and losing a game. And you've got 2 rookies now in there starting. Well, here comes Kroll off the field now, and 52 Jeff Mills, the 2nd-year player out of
Nebraska also.
And Nebraska comes in. But when you lose an experienced player like Tim Lucas, you don't like that. There's Mills.
Jeff Mills sets in at 2nd down and 6 now for Seattle. Seahawks opening drive in the scoreless game. John L. Williams tries the middle of the Broncos defense, and there's not much there as Carl Mecklenburg shot a gap and knocked him down.
You know, Don, in talking to the Seattle Seahawks coaches and players, they can't really figure out why this team can't run. The consensus of opinion to us last night was that the people up front are not following through on their blocks. They're not blocking to and through the man. There's just not much room there. Fenner last year against the Denver Broncos ran for 144 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. To this point in the season, John L. and Fenner have only combined for 100 yards rushing together.
3rd down and 4 now for Seattle. Kemp from the shotgun buys some time with the rollout. He can motor, and Jeff Kemp gets ahead for a 1st down. One of his best assets, Jeff Kemp, is his foot speed. He ran some bootlegs against the Jets, got some big yardage, and that time with no receiver open, Jeff Kemp does it himself and gets a 1st down.
Not afraid to run, but it appears to me that there's no reason for him to run here. It's a half rollout. It looks like Paul Scanzi, 82, is coming across there and is going to be open, but that 51 Kroll of the Denver Broncos forces him to get up the field. And for a guy who's played in the NFL for 11 years, not a lot in the league for 11 years, he's got good foot speed for a quarterback.
Jeff Kemp led the Seattle Seahawks in rushing last week with 36 yards against the Jets. 1st down and 10 now for Seattle. Out throw to Fenner. He's quick as he catches the ball, then he loses it. Incomplete pass.
Wait a minute. The official ruled
incomplete.
Yeah, but first he ruled it was a catch, and then he ruled it incomplete.
Wyman Henderson put the big hit on Derek Fenner. Here it is again, Trump.
Fenner out of the backfield. Watch that 2nd foot. Both feet. No, he never had control of it. Excellent call. Watch the official. See, he's saying he's still in bounds, but it's no catch. Excellent call by the official. So incomplete pass.
Jeff Kemp is from Dartmouth. His dad, Jack Kemp, the former U.S. congressman and quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, is here. He's the Secretary for Housing and Urban Development of the Bush administration. Very proud of this young guy who's done the big job now that he's got his chance. And here is Fenner taking the ball and taking it out to midfield on 2nd down and 10. And while we have a break between plays, let's take a look at the 10-minute ticker. Lions with a mild upset at home. Bears blocking a giant field goal to get their 3rd straight win. Giants, the Super Bowl champions, go to 1-2. Cincinnati now up by 2 on Cleveland. Minnesota has beaten the San Francisco 49ers, and the Philadelphia Eagles have shut out the Dallas Cowboys. Pittsburgh wins over New England. Tampa Bay up by the narrowest of margins on Green Bay. 3rd down and 7 now for Seattle. Kemp again in the shotgun. Standing in, lets it fly. Beautiful throw catch combination to Tommy Kane for a 1st down. As Kemp, with a lot of zip on the ball, put it right between defenders, and Kane takes the big hit Trump and holds on.
Kane, not a big kid, and Atwater, the safety, really puts a lick on him. You can see the zone. Kane runs on the inside. Watch Atwater come up. Perfect timing for the defensive back, but Tommy Kane holds on for an 18-yard pickup. Nice opening drive here by the Seattle Seahawks, Don.
It is indeed. Kane with a couple of key receptions for 1st downs. On 1st down, John L. Williams turns to the outside. Gets down to the 30-yard line, loses the ball.
None of the officials have made any kind of signal yet.
Jeff Mills has made one. Jeff Mills has just picked up the ball.
Finally, an official said the ball is down, but that's obviously reviewable. There was no immediate signal by the officials on the field. The replay always comes into effect here. They might look at it. Let's see if we can catch the end of the run. Nice hit by Braxton. Ball is loose. Ball is loose.
Fumble all the way.
Will be reviewed. Should be reviewed.
If there's a snap, it's going to go. And it's no fumble. Here's a throw now to John L. Williams as they go right back to him on 2nd down and 9, and he gets down close to the 25-yard line. So an early break there for the Seattle Seahawks.
I have no idea why that play was not reviewed and why the umpire was not called. The replay booth was right next to us, and it's very clear that the ball is loose. There is no question about this. John L. catches the ball coming across the middle. That was not the last play. That was the last play, but not the fumble. Well, there's a first break of the game for the Seattle Seahawks.
A huge break. John L. Williams on the replay definitely fumbled the ball. Now with 3rd down and a long 4 coming up, Kemp drops from the shotgun. Throw, and lost the ball to John L. Williams.
Randy Robbins almost picked that thing off. When it came through John L.'s hands, Robbins is staring right at the thing.
Now they're going to send in their rookie place kicker, the Seahawks are, John Casey, to try a long-range try. Kemp 3 of 5, throwing the ball for 35 yards in that opening drive. Casey has struggled a bit. Missed one that would have tied a game at New Orleans on opening day when the Seahawks were beaten by 3 points by the Saints. This one last week they turned out not to need. He can kick it a long way. Now the snap like that go. So an errant snap.
That ball went right through Jeff Kemp's hands, Don.
Grant Fiesel is the snapper. It was a high snap and very hard.
That went right through his hands. Field goal attempt. You see the snap by Fiesel is out away from Jeff Kemp. It goes right through his hands. No attempt whatsoever. The ball is recovered by Charles Dimry. Now here's the fumble by John L. Williams on the sweep to the far side. The ball is loose. but apparently there was an inadvertent whistle on the field, therefore no fumble, and it's not reviewable.
But the Denvers dodged the bullet. Denver Broncos do, and now they go on offense for a second time, 1st and 10. Another good throw by Elway. Clarence Kay, the tight end, catches the ball, then blasts the defensive back who came up to hit him. Eugene Robinson and Rufus Porter combined.
Don, what Denver is doing here, this is a double tight end offense. And there's a play action fake. You see the tight end Clarence Kay right inside Rufus Porter, the linebacker, and it's a 19-yard pickup. This is also a formation that they used a lot last week versus the Raiders, and here it is again.
Mark Jackson goes in motion for the Broncos. Elway fires to Michael Young down to the 40-yard line of Seattle. Dwayne Harper was there to pop him. Young, a very sure-handed receiver, doesn't have great speed, but anything near him he catches, and he'll go over the middle as he just did.
Yeah, Don, one of the things I think about John Elway calling his own plays is there's going to be a favorite receiver emerge. And to this point in the season, that receiver has turned out to be Michael Young. Very sure-handed, and will catch the ball over the middle.
And it's planned that way. Young is his main target in their passing workout on Friday. He runs a lot of ins and out patterns, nothing too deep. They've got speed men to do that as Gaston Green on 2nd down. And very short, takes it ahead for a Denver 1st down. Gaston Green was the 15th player picked the year he came out of UCLA by the Rams, but never got playing time. In fact, in his years with the Rams, he started just 1 game. Last year he had his best rushing year and was under 270 yards for the season.
The opening game of the season without Humphrey here, they relied on him a lot. He was 116 carrying the ball.
Green's run the ball 3 times today, has gained 12 yards. He's the deep back. Gets the pitch. Gaston Green trying to cut back, and here's a loose ball. And let's see this one. The signal is that the Seattle Seahawks get this fumble.
You know, that was not
Jerry Wooden's the guy, Trump.
That was not a particularly big hit.
This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy back at Mile High Stadium as Clarence Kay being attended to now. The big tight end for the Denver Broncos, who had an 18-yard reception for a 1st down earlier before a fumble turned the ball back to Seattle. Now the Seahawks go 1st down and 10 at their 43. John L. Williams fights off tackle, gets to midfield on a 1st down run. He's ahead for a gain of 7. Jeff Mills made the stop.
Don, let's go back to the fumble from behind the defense. You see Green stop, try to cut back inside, and there is the fumble caused. Excellent pursuit by the Seattle Seahawks. Tony Woods gets his hand on it. Obviously a fumble, and Seattle takes over. Well, the ball has bounced their way so far in this 1st quarter.
It has. One fumble of theirs wasn't called. Now with 3:35 to play in the 1st quarter, it's 2nd down and 3 for Jeff Kemp and the Seahawks. Derek Fenner, big long strider, breaks it ahead down to the 47-yard line. And he's going to be very close to a 1st down. NBC's premiere week begins tonight with 4 new shows. And right now it's a 1st down play for Kemp as he looks deep, fires to an open man over the middle. Down to the 30-yard line of Denver is wide receiver Brian Blades.
Zone coverage by the Denver Broncos. Kemp reads it perfectly. Good protection up front. You see Tice 87 attract the linebackers. That allows that spot underneath the defensive backs open. Atwater makes the tackle, but a 16-yard pickup, and Seattle's doing well here. Getting right down the field.
Clock could be ticking, Trump, in San Diego, where Atlanta is now up on the winless Chargers 7-0 in the 1st quarter. Kemp on 1st down gives to John L. Williams. He breaks inside the 25. Another fumble by Williams, and this time it looks like Denver had it. Brian Millard of the Seahawks absolutely infuriated as Williams so far isn't given the, let's see what the call is.
Yeah, I don't know that they've decided yet. Are they possibly saying that the
Brown caused it. Well, we'll see.
The feet of the recovering player touched the sideline before he recovered the ball. Recovered it out of bounds. Second down.
Seattle keeps it. What, did they import those balls from Seattle today? Braxton makes the hit. Oh, no, wrong,
They can't blow
wrong,
two like that.
wrong. Cal Lepore is the replay official, and it appears that he does have control of the football before his feet are out of bounds.
Now they're stopping play. This is going to go over to Denver. We now welcome viewers joining us from the Cincinnati-Cleveland game. We're at Mile High Stadium in Denver, and the Seattle Seahawks are waiting to find out whether John L. Williams, their fullback, whether his fumble was recovered inbounds. He's fumbled twice today. The first one, here it is. We'll watch again his second fumble of the day.
That's Steve Atwater. His feet never were out of bounds. Not until he rolls over are his feet out of bounds. John L's having trouble hanging on to the ball. Excellent hit by Braxton. Outstanding hit by Braxton. And that's got to go back to Denver.
And now a report, Trump, that Tim Lucas, a starting outside linebacker for the Broncos, has suffered a fractured fibula. So he'll be gone for a while. Tim will, linebacker from California.
The replay official, it's ruled as a fumble and a recovery.
Denver ball.
What's the matter with John L. Williams? He's not a fumbler normally. Now there's a break in the action. John L. Williams, one of the most sure-handed runners in the National Football League, has had a problem today holding on. He fumbled, but it was ruled he fumbled when his knee had touched the ground. Inadvertent whistle overruled it. The second fumble does go over to Denver after it was reviewed. So the Broncos now start their third possession in the scoreless game. Gaston Green, he fumbled the last time he had the ball, and there is Gaston Green at his absolute best. Out of high school in Los Angeles, he was one of the two top high school running backs in America with moves like that. And through 4 years of UCLA, that's his game, an open crack and then the dance moves to break tackles.
Offensive line of the Broncos, an excellent job here of shoving off some big people. Eric Hayes, Cortez Kennedy, and Jacob Green. Nice hole right up the middle for Gaston Green.
Ball is advanced now out to the 37-yard line. Elway with time checks out the field and goes again to Young, who's ahead to the 48-yard line of Seattle for a first down. David Wyman dropping back in zone coverage made the tackle.
Again, great pass protection by Denver from behind the defense. Watch the two linebackers. That little play action fake to Green just enough to hold both Porter 97 and Wyman 92, and Young comes wide open. Wyman finally makes the tackle, but another first down. Young's third catch so far.
He's a seventh-year player, Michael Young, really coming into his own this season. Now he goes in motion on first down. Gaston Green. Nothing was there, and he found some room cutting back and got to the 44-yard line of Seattle. Tackle on the play made by the middle of the Seattle defense. Eric Hayes was the first tackler.
Watch the cutback here. At the point of attack, Cortez Kennedy stands up the offensive tackle, Jeff Davidson. Gaston Green has to cut the thing way back, and Wooden is there along with others to assist on the tackle for little gain.
That will do it for the first quarter of play as time winds out. And after 15 minutes, a game marred by fumbles, there's nothing on the board. We'll return to Mile High Stadium after the. Back at Mile High Stadium with the temperature in the mid-60s. The Seahawks in white on defense in a scoreless game as we're ready now to open the second quarter. A year ago, when the Seahawks came here to Denver, they fell behind 28-14, rallied to tie it, and then lost the game to the Broncos in overtime on a field goal. At Seattle in their second meeting in December, the Seahawks were winners 17-12. Elway, a tip ball, and it was almost picked off by Rufus Porter. They were looking at Clarence Cave. Elway, Bob Trump, with a lot of quick patterns today.
Yeah, you see his wristband there. This is Tony Woods that makes contact. The Seahawks come with a blitz. The offensive left tackle, the young man who's making his first start at left tackle, is a little slow getting out there. Jeff Davidson, nobody touched Woods. He almost tipped that ball to his own defender. You see on his wristband? First of all, we saw it yesterday. Shanahan showed it to us. You got to have the eyes of an eagle to read that thing.
Yeah, the printing's about a 1/16 of an inch high. Elway has 20/10 vision to go along with his other attributes. Markers down, the throw and catch made as Steve Sewell, coming out of the backfield, is all the way down to the 24-yard line of the Seahawks.
That looked like it was against Seattle.
Marker down at the line of scrimmage. Nesby Glasgow, an extra defensive back, finally made the tackle.
Offsides defense, play will stand, 20-yard gain.
Might have been Eric Hayes.
Offside, nose tackle on the defense. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Steve Sewell, a guy that the Denver Broncos don't use a lot, but the nose tackle in this case looks like 78 Eric Hayes. Can't trust those centers. You know, they'll twitch their hand and that nose tackle jumps off.
So the play goes, and the Broncos have the best threat of this day. A scoreless game, first down and 10 inside the 25-yard line. Gaston Green upended on a good play by outside linebacker Terry Wooden. Now while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
Don, here's how that ball game ended in Cleveland. 9 seconds to go. Matt Stover from 45 yards out. He'll sneak it just inside the right upright. Cleveland goes to 2-1. Sam Weich's Bengals 0-3. Browns 14. Cincinnati 13. Don?
What an ending, though, for Belichick and the Browns before 80,000 at Cleveland Stadium, as they are now off to a 2-1 start after their disaster of a season ago. Belichick, of course, his first year as coach, as Gaston Green on a second down carry takes the ball down to the 20-yard line. David Wyman, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
Don, did you see Gaston Green when he got to that line of scrimmage, put both hands on the football?
Yeah.
He realizes his opportunity here as he comes off and the two tight ends come in. He realizes his opportunity here with Bobby Humphrey out, that he can be the big gun for him, but he's got to hang on to the football. That time he took no chances protecting it.
A year ago, Denver was 1-1 as they are today. Coming into this game, it was the third game of the season when they played Seattle. As mentioned, they won the game in overtime, but then proceeded to lose 9 of their next 10. As Elway makes a beautiful throw, and again, Sewell finds the open spot. And the Broncos now have it first down and goal at the 5-yard line.
Again, great play call. Sewell out of the backfield. You see him just to the right 30. He beats. There's 7 defensive backs in the game for Seattle. He just runs a little curl route. His second catch now. 36 yards receiving for Steve Sewell. 16 on that one.
Sewell with 2 big catches in this drive, both for first downs. Early in the second quarter, there's no score, but the Broncos are driving now. Here's Elway on a sprint out. Rufus Porter's after him, and Elway throws it away, but not before Rufus Porter got a full shot at him.
That infield can sting. There's sand in that infield, and this is where the Denver Zephyrs play. They're back in Columbus, about to win the minor league AAA championship. They lead 3-0. And Elway told us yesterday he already knows what plays he's going to call in this situation. He's already thought it out with help from Mike Shanahan, Dan Reeves. They come to a consensus as long as he's got the right people in the game. Odd that they've not gotten in by the run yet.
Elway goes to Gaston Green, who runs straight ahead very close to the goal line. No signal that he's in. Gaston Green, who's not scored a touchdown yet this season, runs it right down to the goal line. On the stop for the Seattle Seahawks, Joe Nash was on the play, so was Eugene Robinson.
Well, I think anybody could make this call. Again, great movement by the offensive line of the Denver Broncos. Excellent lead block up in front. Robert Perriman.
David Wyman was in there making a stick. Third down and goal from a yard away. Over the top, and the Seahawks hold. Robert Perriman, the big fullback just mentioned, goes over the top, but the Seahawks throw him back.
Big choice for Dan Reeves. Looked like Nash again was down there. Cortez Kennedy, and they're going for the field goal. Not much room here. 77 Jeff Bryant there to help. A lot of people from the Seahawks. It did not appear that Perriman had any chance whatsoever.
So the Seahawks hold, and now coming in to try a field goal is the very reliable David Treadwell, a Pro Bowl player in '89, as he bangs it through. And the first point, Rick, is a penalty marker down, and the first points of the day may not be up with 11:06 to play in the first half.
That was roughing the kicker.
Well, they'll mark that off on the, well, wait and see. Red Cashin now counsels the Denver field captain and what his options are.
Jeff Bryant went right through the middle. Gary Kubiak is the holder there. Watch Bryant absolutely nail.
He was blocked,
David Treadwell.
Looked like he was blocked. Blocked into the kicker. Well, anyways, a marker down on the field, and everybody's still out there. Whether or not the field goal goes, or Denver will try again with a touchdown.
Field goal.
We're going to take it.
5 yards on the kickoff.
They could have had it 4th and a foot and maybe tried to punch it in if they took the. Well, anyway, we're going to have a kickoff with the Denver Broncos finally taking the lead. At 74 yards down the field in 12 plays, finally getting the first points of the day on a David Treadwell field goal from 17 yards out. Now Treadwell is ready to kick it off as Chris Warren and Derek LaVille are back deep for Seattle. Warren, a 230-pounder with a lot of speed, but not when he doesn't have the ball. Free football, and Warren gobbles it in. Back at the 10-yard line.
What is with the football here today? That's the 4th fumble of the day. Absolutely amazing.
Atwater, 27, was down along with Alton Montgomery, 22. Alton Montgomery was the first guy to make a hit. So Seattle gets it, but they start from deep in their own end. 22nd straight season of sellout at Mile High Stadium. 165 straight sellouts. They love the Broncos in the Mile High City, and right now Denver's holding a 3-0 lead over Seattle. Seahawks having big time problems holding on to the ball. Now they start from their 10-yard line, 1st and 10. Eric Finner split up by Mike Kroll, All-American from Nebraska. Now let's go back to NFL Live. Here's Bob. Interesting happenings at Giant Stadium. The Jets a loser last week to Seattle after winning opening day. Now on 2nd down and 10, here's Jeff Kemp with the drop.
Oh,
and it skips off the hands of receiver Tommy Kane, a very catchable ball.
Charles Demery with the contact. Kemp threw that a little high, but this one normally is caught. We saw Tommy Kane catch a very big pass in the first quarter and get wrapped by Steve Atwater. That one he just slipped right through his hands.
10-10 to go in the first half. And Seattle now comes out of the huddle as Ryan Blades, who's caught 16 passes so far this season. But so far, the Broncos have done a good job doubling him up. Demery backs off. Jeff Kemp stands in. Whips the ball out, and it's almost picked off at the 20-yard line by Tyrone Braxton.
Good pressure that time by Denver. Simon Fletcher was in there. Kenny Walker, the rookie out of Nebraska, who is an inspirational story, was in there. Kemp was flushed, but could not make the completion.
So now Rick Donnelly, the Seahawks punter's on the field. Broncos could come out of this with very good field position. Ricky Nattiel is back for the Broncos, standing at his 43-yard line. There he is, number 84, a flyer from the University of Florida.
You better hang on to it.
Big rush, good blocking, and a terrific punt downfield by Donnelly. It drives Nattiel back to his 35, but he's got room to return it. And Nattiel, with a penalty marker down, is out to the 44-yard line. But there could be an illegal block on the return. Terry Wooden was down to make the tackle for the Seahawks. A 55-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Red Cashin, the referee, with 9:53 to play in the first half. 3-0's the score. A 12-play drive. Only score of the game, a Treadwell field goal.
Here you see Natil. It looks like 22 for the Denver Broncos. Alton Montgomery with the block in the back.
Illegal block by the receivers during the run back. Be it post 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10.
A post-possession foul from the spot of the infraction, so it'll be 1st and 10, starting at about the 28-yard line.
A bit for every beard.
.9:53 to play in the first half here at Mile High Stadium. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Denver holding to a 3-0 lead on a Treadwell field goal. Now has the ball. 1st down and 10 at the Broncos 28-yard line. Handoff. Running with the ball. Cutting back is Gaston Green. And he is thrown back. Taken on by the strong safety. Number 25, Robert Blackman.
Strong side sweep. See, Perriman 33 tries to get Blackman on the ground, but Blackman 25 does an excellent job of avoiding that block. And again, Gaston Green, not a tackle breaker. He's not going to drive for yards. You need to give him a big crack for him to get through there.
Green is 5'11", 190 pounds. Now on 2nd down and a long 9. They go to the draw play. Gaston Green gets some room to maneuver and takes the ball out close to the 35-yard line. Rufus Porter closes. Also on the stop was Cortez Kennedy.
You know, Don, it looks like Denver is trying to do some special things here to slow down this pass rush. There you see the draw play. 96 Kennedy turned out well by Sean Farrell, 63. Davidson gets Porter outside. They're trying to lock those guys to the line of scrimmage. Now Porter plays defensive end and linebacker, defensive end in the pass rush at about 230 pounds. Great foot speed.
Into the Pro Bowl twice as Rufus Porter. Now the Broncos on 3rd down and 4. Bring Natil back toward the line as Elway starts to sprint out. Throws the ball. Thrown and completed to Sewell. But a fine play by the veteran from the University of Washington, Nesby Glasgow. As Tom Catlin, the defensive coordinator of Seattle, said, this is one cagey guy, Nesby Glasgow. You're not going to fool him. 13 years in the NFL, and he made the stop short of the 1st down.
Been around a lot, seen an awful lot of offenses. Excellent read by Glasgow, taking Sewell out of the backfield.
And now Chris Warren drops back deep for Seattle. A good return man, big with a lot of speed. Moran almost blocked. And coming up to fair catch the ball is Warren at his 32-yard line, as Seattle has to be a little bit gun shy right now when the football comes their way. They've been coughing it up. Denver continues to lead 3-0. Nothing Denver. Biggest story of this game so far has been Seattle's inability to hold the ball. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Seahawks have fumbled it 4 times and have lost 2. Not good.
Yeah, especially when John L. Williams is the one fumbling it. I mean, he's normally very sure-handed. So you mentioned that they got to be a little gun shy when they get that ball. I don't understand why the ball seems to be so slippery, because normally both these teams protect the ball very well.
1st down and 10 now for Jeff Kemp and the Seahawks. Here's a call bootleg, big rush. He's got to hurry. He gets the ball downfield. Incomplete. Kemp doing very well to just throw it away, as the rookie, highly regarded 1st-year player Keith Traylor was putting the heat on. Watch 54 come.
He comes on a blitz, gets inside Edwin Bailey, 65. There's Traylor. Also coming from the outside is Ron Holmes, and Kemp does a great job to get this ball off at all, just to avoid the sack. You called it, though. That was a screen. Denver read it perfectly. Kemp had nobody to throw it to.
Kemp is very quick. He's 32 years old, was an all-Ivy player at Dartmouth, has spent time during his 11 seasons with the Rams, the 49ers, and now the Seahawks. He drops to throw on 2nd and 10, gets some time, lofts the ball down, and Brian Blades is separated from the ball. And a tremendous hit by Dennis Smith, the all-pro strong safety from USC. Man.
It was reported last week that this is Dennis Smith's last year. Not true. He will continue to play, and there's a long list of players who have been hammered just in that spot, just that way, by Dennis Smith.
They got two knockout punchers in the deep secondary, does Denver. Atwater's even bigger and hits just as hard.
Atwater told us yesterday, too, that when Smith retires, Atwater moves to strong safety. So that big hitter back there in this Denver defense is going to stay alive.
Kemp has now missed on his last 4 throws. This is 3rd down and 10. Another big rush against him. Downfield throw. It's overthrown. Nearest man to the ball was the free safety, or the strong safety, Dennis Smith.
Interesting. Think back to that series. The Seattle Seahawks did not run the ball. They threw it on 3 straight downs. They have had great difficulty running the ball early in the season. Benner's out with, he got poked in the eye, and John L's coughing it up, so they're going to throwing it. That's not what Chuck Knox wants to do.
Rick Donnelly ready to punt. There is Natil, the return man for Denver. Donnelly will hit the ball somewhere about his 22-yard line. Last was 55 yards. He puts a charge into this one. Natil waits at the 20. Return right, and it's set up well. Picket line of blockers, but then another illegal block as a penalty marker comes in.
They're going to call that on Shannon Sharp, number 81.
48-yard punt by Donnelly. Trey Junkin of the Seahawks protesting that he was fouled, and apparently the official agrees.
You're going to see the block coming from the left. Trey Junkin, who is the snapper, there's no question.
Illegal block. Number 81 of the receivers during the return. 10 yards, 1st down at 10.
There is no question that Shannon Sharp had his head behind that defender, and they're going to throw the flag every time. Why these guys continue to make these blocks is beyond me.
And again, Denver will start deep in their own end when we come back. Broncos lead 3-0. Jeff Kemp of the Seahawks gets some counsel on the sidelines from John Becker, the offensive coordinator for Seattle. David Treadwell, 17-yard field goal early in the 2nd quarter, the only scoring in this game, as Denver holds a 3-0 lead. Gaston Green cuts back and breaks it out to the 20-yard line. On a 1st down carry, he's ahead for 8. Rufus Porter was the tackler. Now let's check the Fram 10-minute ticker. Jets just got a field goal from Leahy to lead the Bills again by 7. Raiders on a touchdown pass by Schrader to Mervyn Fernandez, 16 yards, lead the Colts. Atlanta now extends its lead to 10-0 over the Chargers at San Diego. Both those teams winless. Atlanta and San Diego heading into week 3. John Elway checks the defense, goes on a 2nd and 3 play. Throwing a catch to Ricky Natil. And a 1st down for the Denver Broncos. Patrick Hunter made the stop.
And again, it certainly looks like the formation of choice for John Elway is a double tight end set. Here you see Natil crossing all the way across the field. Patrick Hunter in coverage. Just can't get there in time to knock the ball away. It doesn't gain much, about 4.5, 5 yards, but it's enough for a 1st down. And they stay with this formation. 2 tight ends, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers.
On a 1st down play, lone setback is Gaston Green, and he gets the ball. Green weaving his way out across the 30-yard line. Another positive gain on 1st down for the Broncos as they're ahead for 6. Tackled by the free safety, number 41, Eugene Robinson, who's the number 1 tackler for Seattle. Not something that Chuck Knox likes.
Yeah, he wants the guys with the big shoulder pads making the tackles, and the big guys are up front. Said it's nice to have Eugene leading us in tackles, but he's got the little guy pads. He's supposed to catch him if nobody else gets him. He's getting them first.
A veteran free agent from Colgate, Eugene Robinson, a smart player. He calls all the defensive signals for Seattle. Now Elway stands in on 2nd down, an out pattern. It's off the hands and then caught by Robert Perryman. And they rule they get it inbounds. We'll see. If he did, he's got a 1st down.
Well, he did not look good catching that ball, did he? I mean, they got Sewell, who is normally in there as the pass receiver, and this one bounces off his hands, and some receivers look good catching it. Robert Perriman does not look good catching that one. You saw Elway got hammered.
Those chain markers look good to Denver, though, moving ahead as it's a 1st down catch. Perriman, primarily a blocker. He was cut by New England last year, went to the Dallas Cowboys.
There is a review underway. I couldn't tell from the
Maybe
first
he didn't catch it.
I couldn't tell from the first replay that we saw that whether or not he had the ball in his hand. We need Red Cashin to. He's obviously ruled the ball was
On
caught.
the field, the play is ruled as a catch inbounds. The play is being reviewed.
That's a new thing that the NFL is doing. The official on the field will. I think that's a catch. He will say what they've ruled on the field, and then the replay has something to go against.
Replay official, the play stands. First down.
First down, Denver, says Red. So the Broncos with a 3-0 lead move the ball out to their 36-yard line. Elway throwing the ball very effectively, 9 of 11 for 104 yards.
Nothing deep, too. He's being very patient, don't you think, Don?
I think they're very conscious of Cortez Kennedy, who's just a tremendous force rushing the passer with 3 sacks already this season. Elway lets it go long. Perriman's going for the ball, and he can't get it off his fingertips. Robert Perriman had a step on the defender, Rufus Porter, as Elway, still with that cannon arm, falling back, rifled the ball 55 yards.
Yeah, the primary receiver is on the ground. You see Elway looking to his right. There's nobody out there, and he just heaves this one. Tony Woods, 57, right in his chest. And again, Perriman. These are not what you would call soft hands. He may catch some, but you're going to have to hit him between those 2 threes.
Not his job. Huh? He's got the ping pong paddle hands on them. But he can block and he can run. And now the right tackle pulls up. Ken Lanier, who's been one of the best over the years for Denver, set up to pass block early on a 2nd down and 10 play. Here's Red Cashin.
False start. Number 76 on the offense before the ball was snapped. 2nd down.
Don, you know, if you're looking for little things within a game, so far Cortez Kennedy and Eric Hayes, the 2 defensive tackles of the Seahawks, have been little or no factor in this game. So Denver has accomplished a little bit there with their different formations and spreading the defense out with 2 tight ends. Neither one of those guys has really been able to wreak havoc in the backfield of the Denver Broncos. That's so far, that is.
There's Cortez Kennedy. He was the number 3 pick in the 1st round last year out of Miami of Florida. He's something. Elway on 2nd down and 15. Throw and a catch. Again, it's Young who takes the ball. He's upended by Dwayne Harper, the left cornerback. Michael Young has now caught 4 passes in this game for the Broncos.
Seattle's choice in these long yardage situations, a 4-man rush and 7 defensive backs, so you're not going to get the ball way down the field. Elway very patient, very willing to take the underneath stuff. Like 3rd and 8.
Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Bob, Will, and OJ, scores and highlights of week 3. And through almost 2.5 games, Elway's not thrown an interception this season. This time he's swept under the blitz, end him in, and then he is knocked down for the 1st sack of the game back at the 32-yard line, and Denver will have to punt it.
Eugene Robinson comes on the weak safety blitz. Watch left-hand side of the screen. He comes free. Nobody touches him. Good defensive call by Tom Catlin. 1st sack of the day for the Seahawks.
6th time this season that Elway's been sacked. Ready to punt the ball now. It's Horan, hits a knuckleball down to Chris Warren at the 25. He's out to the 36-yard line. So at 3:45 to play in the 1st half, Seattle will get one of its best starting positions to go 1st and 10 after a 43-yard punt by the Pro Bowler Horan and an 11-yard return by Warren. NBC's premier. Warren, who returned the punt, now stays in the game to run the ball. John L. Williams runs the ball and gets ahead to the 38-yard line with a nose tackle. Greg Cragen knocked him down.
Well, this running game of the Seattle Seahawks just does not look healthy. It doesn't look healthy at all. Normally Chuck Knox has great confidence in this running game, but they're not firing at the line of scrimmage. And John L., when he gets to the spot, you see his passing stats, he's 0 for his last 5, but the running game is not helping him.
John
either.
Becker says one of the big problems is that the linemen just aren't holding their blocks. They're making contact, but they're not. Here's another fumble. The ball carrier, Derek Lavelle, just in the game. Fumbles on his 1st carry, but recovers, and that's the 5th time today that Seattle has coughed the ball up on a fumble. They've lost 2 to the Broncos.
Doesn't look like he ever gets this one. It's a little sprint draw. It doesn't look like Jeff Kemp ran the right play. He didn't put it in there good. And Lavelle puts it on the ground. Holmes is almost there to recover it. It's just not working. You know, the timing is not there. Normally this running offense of the Seattle Seahawks functions very smoothly. Not so far today.
That's been the staple of the franchise in the 8 years that Chuck Knox has been there. A strong proponent of power football. Third down now and a long 8. A throw and not close to Brian Blades coming off the right flank. So the Seahawk offense does nothing on the last 3 possessions, and Broncos get it back on a punt from.
And Jeff Kemp is now over his last 6 passing attempts. No running game. Quarterback over your last 6. You're not going to have much offense when you look at things like that.
But the Seahawks are right in the game, as the only score of the day came after a 12-play drive. A 17-yard field goal by David Treadway, and that's how the Broncos lead it 3-0. There's Ricky Nattiel back to field yet another punt for the Broncos. Donnelly hits a line drive. Here comes Nattiel. Breaks it out to the 39-yard line. Rufus Porter makes the play on special teams along with Chris Warren. A 40-yard punt, but Nattiel with a 16-yard return. Nice linebacker who's been such a force.
If we can see what happens. There's Porter, 97-42. Or maybe it was the Denver Bronco that just flew through there. A blur. I couldn't see the number that hit him, but he made contact with his own teammate, and then, you know, that's in the area of the hip pointer.
Yeah.
And oh man, do they hurt.
And there is a tremendously inspirational success story. The young defensive lineman Kenny Walker, an All-American Nebraska last year, an 8th-round draft choice. He's been deaf since the age of 2. Ernie Stautner, the big guy in the white hair there drawing on the board, a Hall of Famer from his playing days with the Steelers, told me yesterday, I really thought it was a mistake drafting him. As you look at Guy Smith, who is giving him the sign language, talking to Walker in the timeout. And Stautner said the day this kid walked into camp, Walker, he set the pace with his attitude, his unrelenting drive. He said this guy's got a chance to be a star. He thought the obstacles in the game would be too much for him, not being able to hear so much as verbal communication on the field. Downfield throw now by Elway. Nattiel catches it, and he's going in. Maybe the play of the season for the Broncos.
There was also an interference, but it's against Seattle. The play stands.
61 yards. Nattiel was clearly fouled, but still made the play on a terrific throw by Elway.
Well, that was a great throw.
Pass interference. Number 26 on the defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
That's James Jefferson on the interference. But the most difficult pass for a quarterback to throw is the one where the receiver's going dead away from you. Watch Elway. Looks to his right. Comes back quickly in the face of a blitz. Hits Nattiel right in stride. There you see the interference. Nattiel catches it straight over his head and goes 61 yards for the score. Not a bad play.
His first touchdown and only his second catch of the season. For Ricky Nattiel, Treadway drills the extra point. And now, with 2 minutes to play in the first half, the Broncos have taken early command with a 10-0 lead. John Elway, who's not been intercepted this season, just threw his 4th touchdown pass, a 61-yarder.
Watch the blitz coming. Nesby Glasgow 22 delay blitz. Elway sees him coming, still stands in there. This is absolutely picture perfect. Over the shoulder catch by Nattiel. Great foot speed. With the flag, still the 61-yard touchdown.
Nattiel in his 5th year has had knee problems during his career. Coming out of Florida, he was regarded as a blue chip prospect, and at times like that one, he certainly proved to be. Chris Warren runs back the kickoff and fights his way out to the 22-yard line. So the Seahawks, who've been sputtering on offense since early in the game, will try again now. There's another Bronco down. Might be Ronnie Halliburton.
Yeah, he made the initial contact with Chris Warren. Something with his shoulder. The drop. For the moment, he's fine.
He looks to be okay, which is good news. Rufus Porter went off a short time ago for Seattle. Banged on the hip. Looked like he could be back, though. Now let's see what Jeff Kemp and the Seattle offense goes to in an attempt to move the ball.
Spread offense by Seattle.
Bedwell hitting a 17-yarder. That was the first score of the game early in the second quarter. From the shotgun, Kemp stands in, lets it go long, makes the connection. Downfield is Paul Scanzi, another former Husky from the University of Washington. He gets the ball all the way out to the 43-yard line. A 20-yard gain on the play as Kemp throws a laser-sharp pass after all those misses. Here's a swing pass off the fingertips of John L. Williams. Simon Fletcher, 73, was covering.
No deception in that screen.
They looked him all the way, and I think that John L. might be looking at Simon Fletcher.
Yeah, they try to. Andy Heck, 66, tries to cut Fletcher, does not get it done, and Fletcher's right out there to be in John L.'s face. You know, a guy who's not out there for the Denver defense now. I don't understand why. Is Carl Mecklenburg. Normally he's part of this package.
He's walking the sidelines.
Yeah,
He appears to be all right.
I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's normally in there. They have Kroll in there now, the rookie linebacker.
Might be looking for more speed as Seattle's going to be throwing for the rest of the half, or as long as they have it. 1:26 to go in the first half. Blitz is picked up. Another throw, another catch, and getting out of bounds nicely is Lewis Clark. Run out of bounds by Kroll as all of a sudden Seattle's offense gets up to speed on some sharp throws by Kemp.
They're facing the prevent defense here by Denver. 6 defensive backs as Jeff Kemp takes the timeout down.
They are checking the shoulder of Ronnie Halliburton, who was hurt earlier. Now Kemp comes over for some counsel as Seattle wants to make good on a scoring opportunity. Just 69 ticks left on the first half clock. 1:09 to play. Chuck Knox, if he gets a win today, we go to number 6 on the all-time list of NFL coaches. He tied Paul Brown. That's David Craig to the left, just out of the picture now, who was the starting quarterback before he was hurt. It's interesting, Trump, that the last 3 starting quarterbacks Seattle have been free agents. Jim Zorn, David Craig, and now Jeff Kemp. And again, they've drafted 2 number 1s. Stauffer's hurt. McGuire's not ready yet.
They have not expended a lot of draft choices on quarterbacks. You're absolutely correct. They're all from these little schools, too, who don't feature quarterbacks or football, do they?
Until like an Ivy League. I think it's good football. Jeff Kemp from Dartmouth takes a look, lets it fly, and Rue was almost picked off as Kemp was hit very hard by Simon Fletcher. Fletcher is a 4'6", 240. He has led the Seahawks in sacks the last 3 years. Watch him, 73. Boom.
Inside Bill Hitchcock, number 76. Fletcher not big, under 245 pounds. Great foot speed. Gets right inside Hitchcock to get in Jeff Kemp's face.
Broncos leading sacker 3 straight years. And almost got one there. Kemp got it away. But on 3rd down, the Seahawks failed to convert. Now Donnelly's back out to punt. Ricky Nattiel is back. Last time he had his hands on the ball, it was to complete a 61-yard touchdown pass play. Makes the fair catch. Porter, okay, good to see Rufus back in there. He's down after being banged up earlier to down the ball inside the 10-yard line.
54 seconds to go in the first half here. I'd say you just kind of sit on the ball and go in leading 10-0.
NBA stars. They'll be announced on Saturday following Notre Dame, Michigan State. Here on NBC. Broncos content to take their winnings to the locker room, apparently. Now there's a timeout called by Seattle as John Elway comes to the sideline.
I think that last hit by Simon Fletcher on Jeff Kemp did some damage. They're doing something to his throwing elbow, arm, hand, something.
We could see rookie Dan McGuire early.
Yeah, he's number 2 on your depth chart today. Oh my goodness, big ice pack on his elbow.
It's Dan McGuire, number 10. He's 6'8". Kemp's about 5'11".
There's Fletcher inside, and it looks like there may have been contact. His elbow on the helmet of Simon Fletcher on that last play. And
it's the right elbow, his throwing arm. So now Elway and the Broncos set up. 2nd down and 8 with a 10-0 lead. 48 seconds to play in the first half. Gaston Green breaks into open field all the way out to the 25-yard line. Clock runs inside of 40 seconds.
That should do it for the half, Don. You try one big hope shot here. John Elway's calling his own plays. Looks like he's going to try to get one deep. Let's see what happens.
He got one deep a little earlier, a 61-yard scoring play. This one fired out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock with 21 seconds to play. Elway, a beloved figure here in Denver, but around the National Football League, around America, they say he might be the most booed athlete other than Bill Laimbeer of Detroit. And people look for reasons why. He said he didn't want to play for the Colts. He didn't want to play in the East. Some people were offended by that. And I think Jim Sacamano, the publicity director for the Broncos, might have summed it up. He said Elway is blonde, blue-eyed, handsome, rich, successful. He's from California. All the things some people love to hate.
Boo!
Apologies to you blonde, blue-eyed, rich Southern Californians. As Elway drops to throw long. Dumps it off, and it's incomplete.
Let me tell you something. John Elway off the field is one of the most gracious people you'll ever meet in your life. He is a coach's son. I think he knows how to conduct himself. The demands on his time in this city from the press and the media and also from private citizens is enormous. Absolutely enormous. And he made the point. He played in a golf tournament and he was upstaged by Michael Jordan. He said whatever problems I have with the public, they absolutely pale by comparison to what Michael Jordan has to go through. It was probably a
problems in Denver really are that he can't go anywhere, but he wants his autograph. He and his wife, the parents of 4 young Elways, as the handoff now goes to Gaston Green, weaving his way to the 24-yard line. You're right about Elway, though. Not many guys wear success as well. This kid has been a superstar since he was in pass, punt, and kick. He was the most recruited high school player in America, coming out of high school in Southern California as the Seahawks called timeout. He was the #1 pick in the draft, and he's handled it all. I think what you said earlier, Trump, about being a coach's son has kept all the good things in perspective.
Helped him a great deal. In fact, in the offseason, he went over to Europe to see his dad's team play, and he said it was great. Nobody knew who I was. I liked it over there.
He's going back. His father coached the Frankfurt Galaxy of the World League of American Football.
Now, wait a minute. If they have the league, he may go back.
That's right.
Now the only choice that Seattle has, there's Reeves and John Elway talking, they got to try to block the punt here. 7 seconds left. That's the only alternative they have at the end of this first half. Rusty Tillman, the special teams coach of Seattle, spends weeks, months, years hoping for a situation like this. 10 men up, Don.
10 men up. There's Chris Warren back as they go for the block, and Denver does an excellent job keeping out the rush. Warren fields the ball with a fair catch at the 38-yard line. 1 second left, so the Seahawks will have time for one play.
And you know what they could do? They could line up for a field goal. That ball was fair caught. Let's see, it'd be put down at
about 75 yards. That'd make news, or longer.
Well,
how about 80 yards? Ball spotted the 38-yard line. 7 drop. That would be back to the 31.
No, it'd be right there. It'd be right there where it's fair caught. They line up for a kickoff.
It's a 7-yard snap back to the holder.
No, they don't snap it.
If a field, with a fair catch.
Yeah, with a fair catch, they have the.
That's right.
But they're not going to do it.
It would only be a 73-yard field goal from there.
You called the last one of those, didn't you?
The 63. Yeah, Tom Dempsey. Heck left Irving. Pass blocking, or the right tackle Bill Hitchcock did, not Heck.
Well, Seattle has just not looked good in this first half offensively.
False start. Number 76 of the offense before the ball was snapped. 5 yards. Timer. There'll be 1 second on the clock. 1 second.
Denver's played a very strong game. Lost a fumble. Green lost one. But other than that, Coach Dan Reeves' guys have really been ready. On opening day, they just buried Cincinnati here 45-14. And as Reeves said, we were beaten at the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively by the Raiders in the second half, as Los Angeles won over Denver last week. Last year, Reeves, in the midst of a 5-11 season, saw his team with halftime leads in 12 games. It was in the second half that the Broncos had their problems. now. They have a 10-0 lead. Kemp lets it go long. Lots of people out there. It's caught by Tommy Kane. But the Seahawks have time for no more plays. That'll do it for the first half. What goes is about a 50-yard completion. But it's unable to give the Seahawks a chance for another.